you, Sergei Petrunia, for a great analysis of Analyze. Very good. I always thought that a full table scan was your worst case scenario, but you clearly explained why that is not the case, that there can be worse things than a full table scan. But one of the questions I was pondering here is, Analyze output, yep, fine, but what's then performance schema? Shouldn't you get those answers from the performance schema?
Well, performance schema was initially designed to get overall aggregates about total system health or total system behavior, how much I/O on the whole you have on the whole instance, while Analyze is targeted at looking within the bounds of this particular query. At the moment, there is no overlap between these two features. They are separate. Maybe at some point we could see that the stuff collected and analyzed, like composite totals, get into the performance schema, which we to some extent do now. So that's like for the future, we should look at the integration of these two features. At the moment, there isn't much. Performance schema is more about composite.
Makes sense to me. So I have a question from a different angle. So many of these things you read in a character-based format best to understand it. But are there any ideas for a GUI, a graphical viewer for this? Does it make sense? And is there such a GUI viewer?
There is no GUI viewer currently. I think it would make sense also. Well, SQL Server, if you look, it has a similar kind of feature which has a GUI viewer, and I think it would be useful here as well. I don't think anybody has any specific plan, and it would make a really nice third-party contribution. Or I would think there could be a website where you could paste your Analyze output and get a nice GUI on the right if you paste it on the left, something like that. So it's a low-hanging fruit for somebody with good front-end knowledge to take.
Low-hanging fruit. So there's a good trigger for somebody who wishes to contribute. So now on the borderline between performance schema and Analyze, you said a performance schema is for the overall situation and Analyze for the individual query. But what about the RAM that the query used? Is that something for Analyze to show or performance schema? How do I know how much RAM memory was used by the query?
Analyze, I don't think, maybe it's not 100% finished work, but Analyze already shows the amount of memory used by file sort. I don't think it shows the amount of memory used by temporary tables, but this is an obvious low-hanging fruit. I think we have a total counter about how much the statement has allocated. So this is a good example where Analyze would show which individual parts used the memory, individual parts of the query plan, like grouping operation or window function operation or something. While performance schema would show the totals, how much the statement used together. Maybe the totals could be had in both places, like in the same like query time. Analyze has R total time MS, and performance schema has also query totals. So you can look at, so they are added into the totals summary view. Yep.
Right. So then I had an idea here related to somehow optimizing the optimizer. Can you somehow feed the analysis that you got from the analyzer to the query optimizer, and then the query plan will be better?
Yes. Well, one tricky thing here that Analyze will show you what it has seen, but it will not show you what it has not seen. So if you see, it will allow you to tell you that, okay, this condition is actually highly selective, or that this index was bad. It won't tell you that other index was better. But yeah, I think the idea is very good. Unfortunately, we cannot have anything at the moment. We might need some. We could have to introduce some sort of selectivity function. Okay, this is a which you will wrap a condition saying, okay, this is a condition, and I know its selectivity is gonna be this. This is one of the future directions. I don't think we have any specifics yet, but it's on the list of what we are like thinking of.
Cool. And I see you've been active, both the participants and you, replying on Zulip chats. Anything you, Sergey, wish to fill us in from the Zulip chat that you had on this topic?
Let me check. Well, it's just some details. It's mostly all answered in Zulip. Eric has shared an interesting observation that ignore index works better than force index. This is like a revelation to me, because apparently Eric has done quite a lot of work running production databases. For me, it was they were identical, but it's an interesting observation for me. Yeah, Marco has asked about whether table TimeMS includes pushed filter. Yes, it does. It also pushed index condition. It just computes the time we spent waiting for table to read to complete. Yeah,
hey, that's great. So I'm very happy to see that you got revelations from Zulip. Our plan was for the participants to get revelations from you, but if it's mutually revealing, then what could be better? So thanks for a great presentation on Analyze, Sergey Petrunya. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom.